All right, this is Brazil 2006 still versus Serbia, and these are all row 6 rotations. So setter's right front, you can see the opposite 9 is left back. All right, let's let it run here. First thing is you want to use them if you have an opposite that can hit D-balls, as many D-balls as possible. I like to establish D-balls that way. It's just keeping your offensive kind of unpredictable a little bit. Back row hits, I especially like to hit back row sets, so I mean, it's something that I actually probably hit a higher percentage on. So depending on your opposite, he might actually like the back row sets more. So it gives him kind of more room to jump, more room to run. So communicate with your opposite, see if he likes actually back row sets more, and try to practice it as much as possible. Running also, you can see Dante, he's passing, he's midlining it pretty well. You can see that perfectly. He's kind of, I like when you pass it and then kind of your hands come down back to brace it. So you can see him doing that pretty well right here. So his hands are obviously kind of centered. And then his hands come back in to take some speed off the ball. Take the speed off the ball. So we're running here, all 4 attackers are in the same groove pattern. You can see them all kind of moving at the same time, which is always classic. This team is always on the same page. We got a 3, 31, whatever here, coming to attack this angle. We got the pipe coming to attack this angle. And we got outside hitter to attack this angle. And you can see when it's overloaded like this, the outside blocker for them does a pretty good job. I mean, you just basically are releasing on your guy. You just make sure that you can only do that. I mean, there's 4 attackers coming at you. Just make sure that you take care of your own guy. So you can see that he's already releasing. In such a fast set, though, he still gets a little... You can see him right there, he kind of messes up. He's he thinks it's going somewhere else because Ricardo's holding it for the last second. Holding it. Looks the same. Every set he sets, it looks exactly the same. And then all of a sudden, back. Classic torque. Look how much torque he's got going on there. As a left-hander especially, he's opening up huge. Really opens up. And he lands all the way on the 10-foot line. So, I mean, the big thing is for opposite hitters is to jump from behind and land on the net at the 10-foot line and at the end line. So he's landing almost under the net. You want to really use that broad jump all you can. That's how you get the most energy out of it. The middle coming from area 6, you're going to notice that he's left front, but he's standing about 2 feet behind the 10-foot line, so he's already in his spot. This is before even the serve is going, so he doesn't even move. He just comes down ready. He's ready. He doesn't necessarily get all the way there. He doesn't have to because he's so fast all the way to the setter from this angle. It's also creating that for that middle blocker here. It's creating this kind of illusion of everything's going this way with him. So they want to they dive that way. And you can hit cross back pretty easily because the middle blocker is going to block that way. So the middle blocker is jumping this way. The hitter can come in here and then hit this way pretty easily all the time. You'll see that eventually more often. It's kind of a little bit of a strategy. So this way he's coming sideways. I mean, this middle blocker on the other side is reading it really well. Milkovic, the opposite over here, he's keeping his hands pretty high. You can see his hands are already bent elbows up. sidesteps because it's set so fast. You can see the ball hits him off the top of the hands here and goes that way. I mean, it's a really good tie hands hit though. So we got everything coming out the middle, and now we're spreading. Again, we're kind of running a 3 here, so he's kind of running a gap here. So we're taking up space here, and then we're going long way back, creating one-on-ones. I mean, as a setter, obviously you want to create one-on-ones. See where he lands. See how he lands almost at the 10-foot line again here. Jumping, opening up, big shoulder rotation. Hips are pointing forward, his arm is coming back, creating that nice angle. Contacting it at his peak in front of him, landing at the 10-foot line. Or sorry, landing at the net. So from behind the 10-foot line at the net. Keep jumping from behind the 10-foot line, trying to land at the net. Here's Dante again passing. You can see him even hits the net. He has time. He tries to get in the middle of his body here. So he's still passing it in his midline. Whether he's subconsciously doing this or consciously doing this, I mean, he's almost getting into position to hit while he's passing. As you can see, he's hitting and then transitioning into pipe attack. This blocker does a good job right here. This blocker does a good job helping, but his right hand, you can see, is kind of off the net, not pressed. If it was just a little bit tighter, he probably would have helped that block. See that right there? That's just the difference right there, that little bit of spacing going on your side. See how he's turning his shoulders? He's facing the hitter, not turning the ball into the court. Small difference, but it makes a big difference. See that full speed? That was a 34. Here we go. This is a pretty fast go. It's kind of a rare wrist away completely by Jiba. He doesn't really do this that often, actually. So the pass was extremely fast. Dante went a little bit too fast with this pass. He directed it a little bit too quick almost. You can see him. So didn't have time for the middle to get up here. His middle's still coming, but he doesn't even jump because it's too fast. So Ricardo gets rid of it really quickly, quicker than he thinks, or quicker than he usually does. Just so Jiba can beat the block. So Jiba doesn't have time to get outside. Usually he would kind of get outside. So this teaches you really, I mean, know the relationship with your setter. Don't give him the same set all the time, because you're going to know if he's outside enough, then he can get outside. But if the pass is fast enough like this, if this is a rocket set, he's still trying to beat the block, so the block's not fully loaded up on him. So Jiba comes down the line. He doesn't get outside. He just comes down the line because because of the pass. So it's like, this is kind of like an audible without really calling it. It's kind of a connection audible. So the pass is too fast. Jiba has to hurry. He knows that it's coming quicker. So he comes down the line. He doesn't get outside. He doesn't do this all the time. And Ricardo knows that he has to beat the block quickly, so he speeds it up really fast. Jiba kind of still high points it, and he sees the middle blocker on the ground still. So he sees Pimienta, this middle blocker for Cuba here. He sees Pimienta on the ground still, and so he has to go really wrist away here before he gets on him, because this guy's like 7 foot basically, so he has to get it while he's still on the ground, so he hits it quick. So in this situation, speed, he has to go speed. And this guy's late, so he's thinking he sees Jiba coming. He sees Jiba coming like this, so he thinks he's just going to hit down the line, which usually most hitters predictably do. So he jumps into that angle because he's late, because the set was faster than everybody thought, drifting out. So Jiba has to make a kind of a crazy reaction, sideways hit. And you can touch the equipment on the outside of the net. So, I mean, see how Jiba's grabbing the net here? But as long as it's outside the antenna, you can do anything. Or you can go underneath the net even. So Jiba's a legal play here. He kind of comes into the net, but he touches the pole. The pole's, it doesn't matter. As long as it's on this side of the net, everything's legal to touch. So here we go, quick pass, kind of an audible, gotta go quick. Good improvisation. Yeah, this is just a kind of crazy turn here. So the middle's coming in, he comes in, and then comes back straight up. He's not rounding this one at all. He's coming in here, and then he comes straight up, and he knows that he has to hit this way, because I think he knows this blocker is going to take away this. So that's kind of like the scouting. I haven't seen the game flow of this. So I mean, the last couple hits, maybe the middle blocker hit this way. So now he knows the other middle blocker is going to block this way. It's entirely possible. So now he comes straight in. And kind of turns it up. Hips are moving forward. See how the hips are automatically forward for Ricardinho. See, his hips are going this way, but his shoulders are facing like that. So he's got that little X motion going on here. Still high points. He's waiting for the ball. He's kind of patient with the ball. He's patient. And he turns it. He lets the ball go over his head and then rotates. So he lets the play develop in front of him. So he doesn't go out too early. He has patience. He's still hitting it at a high point. So he's still hitting it at a high point. He's not letting it get over his head. See what I mean? The ball is still here. The ball is not over there above his head. It's still on this side of his head. You never want to let the ball get over your head directly. And he turns it cross court with a good arm, little snap. Look at this middle where he starts. He's starting crouched down. He's ready to play. The ball's coming in. He's in bounds. Here it comes. He's ready. Watching the pass. He watches the pass. Look at his head. He's watching the pass. He's watching the ball. He's still watching the ball out of his hands, out of the pass, the forearms. He's watching it go to the setter now. He's seeing the ball travel. He's seeing the ball distance out of the hands. He's calculating it. You can see his eyes right there looking at the ball. He's looking at the ball right there. Then he locks onto his setter once he knows the trajectory of the ball. So he's waiting. He's calculating three things. He sees the serve, he sees the pass, he sees the ball in the air. Then he looks at the setter last. So server, passer, ball in the air, then setter. So those are four little transition things. So server, passer, ball in the air, then he locks on his setter. Here's another kind of center pass. If you can, he kind of centers it and then kind of moves his arm. His feet, you see his feet are always still facing the passer. His feet don't face the setter. His hands and his platform then rotate to the passer, to the setter. Sorry. So all passers' feet are facing the passer. The server. All the passers' feet are facing the server. So your feet are facing the server, and then your hands and platform go back to the setter. Kind of an inside set. Kind of got away with this one. Hitting it kind of low. He kind of got lucky a little bit. Kind of got lucky with that hit. This is just showing how athletic Jiba is. I love this. This is one of the reasons why he was so interesting to watch, is how strong he was in his legs. See how he's waiting? First off, the serve is so fast that boom, he's still stuck in his ground. So then he gets outside a little bit. So he's still outside the court a little bit now. That the pass is higher. Unlike before, the pass wasn't high. The pass was super fast, so he just came straight down the line like that. Now he can kind of come outside like that, so he has a little bit more time. As you can see, he walks a little bit. Now he's in the blue. Both feet are in the blue. Big step close. Look at this off his left foot. Look how far he launches off his left foot. He's on his left here. His left foot there, and let's see where his right foot lands. So he's stepping, closing. There, his right foot's there. I mean, that's a good 8 feet. Look at where his left foot is there. His left foot's here. And the next time his right foot is right there, and the next time the right foot touches the ground, that's probably 12 feet. 12 feet maybe? So he covers that much space with 12 feet. So his right foot is there, and the next time he touches his right foot, it's all the way there. Right foot, left foot, flying off of that foot, flying off of that foot. Step close, 1 foot in bounds, 1 foot out of bounds. Crushing the ball, moving. Look how much energy he's propelling himself forward with. Look how much body energy is going forward. Look at his body energy. Look how loose his body is. I love this. This is Jiba, classic Jiba, landing on 1 foot, doing a little thing, and then jumping off of it. This is a classic kind of how athletic this guy was. I mean, you try doing that. See what it feels like. It's a good turn body right here again. The pass was fast. Everybody else is kind of late a little bit. Turns his body completely, so you can see his numbers. You can see his body here, arm up, like that. And then you can't see his jersey number at all. He's completely turned his body. He's completely turned his body. So you can see 14, Rodrigo. No 14. 14, no 14. No 14. Look at the setter even too. He's really guiding that ball in. You can see Ricardo here. He's really guiding that ball in. I mean, he's not just like flicking it and forgetting it. He's guiding that thing in totally. Following through. Just a great up and turn. Let's look at that one more time. Let's just see Jiba one more time.